welcome to Hack the Real Size podcast with Heather, Ashley, and myself, Keira, where we like to delve into the personal journeys of people in the entertainment industry with a little bit of cheeky fun. And tonight we have the wonderful Andre Demond. So Andre is a Washington-based actor and voiceover artist as well, who has been in films such as Unbelievers, Blindfold, and the series Ernesto. And we've dragged him on to chat to us tonight. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We are very excited to be chatting to you tonight.
Same. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
You don't have to be nervous.
The best things happen. I think the best things happen when there are nerves. So we'll see.
Well, you should be nervous because Keira starts with her questions. So.
Oh, I know. I was not looking forward to that part.
Have you been like rewatching the other one, trying to come up with?
I have, and I heard one you were saying, "What's the oldest thing in your fridge?" And I'm like trying to prepare questions for myself, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. So.
You want me to ask that one? I can ask that one if you want.
I didn't look. That's the problem. I knew that question because I was like, "That's creative," but I don't know what's in there.
No, you didn't prep. You didn't prep for
I did not prep for that. No.
Okay.
I didn't think you would say that one, but if you do, now you just put me on my toes.
I know, I might just slip it in there.
Probably some old pizza or something.
Oh, should have got eaten. So obviously, you know the way that this works. So I'm going to start just to try and loosen you up, get to know you a little bit better, get the listeners to really see what fun things you like to come up with. And then Ashley is going to take the middle bit and she's going to talk to you about your journey and where you came from and how you got into it and everything. And then Heather is going to do a little bit more specific questions about when you're on a job or when you're preparing for a role and things like that.
Okay. Sure.
Do you want to have a safe word, just in case?
Pineapples.
That's a good safe word. Okay, ready to go.
Don't ask him if he likes pineapple and ham on his pizza because that'll screw up the whole thing.
Oh, yes. I really like pineapple. A little bit like.
I do like that, though. I'm not going to say the word, though, but I like it.
You can't say it now. You can't say it. Right then. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. What is the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Ooh, we keep this PG, right?
No.
Ooh, wow. It's the most dangerous thing I've ever done.
You can say stupid dangerous, like it could have been something like that.
Yeah, it would have to be. Ooh, wow. I did not prepare enough. I've done a lot of
incriminate yourself into any crime.
Exactly. I'm like, I've done a lot of dumb things. What do I want to disclose that were dangerous? My ex-fiance, can I say that?
Can we tag her?
That was dangerous. What was that?
I was like, can we tag her? I mean, maybe that's dangerous.
That was probably the most dangerous thing I've done.
Oh my god. Oh, brilliant. I love the way that you've just dived straight in with that, because before we start recording, I asked him if he's offended by anything, just so we could be aware. He's just dived straight in with that. He's like, no.
Yeah, just my ex. That's
You know, you set the line. We know where we can go to, and it's pretty high. It's good.
Exactly.
We like that. That's how we roll. Excellent. Okay, I'll bring this phone back down again. Which condiment is doesn't last very long in your house?
Does not come in my house?
No, which doesn't last very long in your house.
Oh, any hot sauce.
Oh.
I put hot sauce on everything. So yeah, that doesn't last much.
Yeah, that sounds like our house. Which is the one, what is the one habit you wish you could break? One bad habit you've got?
Eating fast food too much. It's a real habit. It's a problem. It is a problem, because I get home from a long day of work and I'm like, hey, I need some food and I'd rather not have to cook right now. And DoorDash has been a problem for me.
Is that like a food delivery service thing?
Yes, it is. And it makes it super easy to order food and have it delivered right to your door. So
You guys have DoorDash over there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, over there?
Oh, I meant like in the UK. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I
Do you have DoorDash across the pond?
DoorDash. where I live, we barely get any food delivery services. And if they do, they get lost coming to my little village because they all suck. So, yeah, it's a bit depressing, really. On that note, who is your favorite Disney princess? I know you're going to have one.
Ooh, it's between Jasmine and Ariel. Ariel, easily. Yeah.
It's like two totally different spectrums. Like
they are.
Fish,
yeah, I know.
Person.
Magic carpet rides, all that kind of stuff.
Is it the red hair?
I would say Ariel. Yeah, because I'm an ocean person. I love the beach. I love the ocean. I love anything ocean-wise. So, yeah, definitely give it to her.
She's a very popular.
She's hot. She's hot, too. I mean, as a cartoon.
You know they're coming out with the movie.
They are, but we'll see.
They did.
I have to watch it.
They did a live musical, and I actually thought it was done very well.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like a TV on TV.
Oh wow!
Maybe 2 years ago, and I thought it was done like I was not like but it was done good. It was a good one.
We'll look forward to the film then. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about yourself during this last pandemic?
That I am stronger than I really am. That's for sure. That is for sure. It scared the crap out of me, this pandemic. And that's when I decided really to open up my life and just pursue acting at that time, right? Perfect timing. And still pieces fell into place. And it really taught me to stop being afraid, just jump. So this pandemic there's a lot of bad things about it. I get it, but it definitely shows you a lot of yourself, and how strong you really are. So,
yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, we wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for the pandemic. So
exactly.
we got a little soft spot for old Corona. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
UK, hands down.
Really?
Hands down.
But really, whereabouts?
Yes. London.
Herefordshire.
I said London.
London. All right.
I feel like people that live in the US always are like, London's amazing. Everybody wants to go to London. And it's funny because I feel like when I talk to people in the UK, they're like that about New York or LA and stuff like that. So I just think it's so funny that we're not like, oh yeah, New York or LA, like we just London, So
we're so far away. I look at the pictures and just the way buildings are, and I don't know, it's all new. It's something that I've never experienced, and I would love to see it. At least even living there for a year would be really cool. So.
What's your favorite seat on an airplane? Do you have a particular one?
Any seat close to an exit.
Okay.
That is my favorite seat. Not that would really help in any case, but I just want to I want to feel like I can get out if I need to get out.
You feel like I don't know how tall you are because I've not stalked you accurately enough, but I feel that you're a tall guy.
I'm 6'5", yeah.
Okay, so you need like the front seats with the extra leg room, or like
exactly
the exit with the leg room.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah. Plus people move slow. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm tall and I got long legs, but people tend to move slow, and I want to be the first out.
No women and children first for Andre.
I usually avoid the exit seats because I'm scared that if anything happens, I could get sucked out of the exit door.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to say you don't want the responsibility of having to be like calm and like opening the exit door.
Well, I could open the exit door because I would literally shove myself through first.
You just don't want to be sucked out.
I don't want to be sucked out. So
isn't that on like one of the Final Destination movies?
Yeah, I see. I was ruined by those movies. I can't get behind
a logging truck.
Logs,
Sure, yeah.
I can't do any of that.
I still see
clothesline out in the shower because you might trip and it
wrap around your neck.
Yeah.
I still find myself taking a photo every time I'm behind a log truck and posting and be like, does anyone know what this is from?
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest post right there.
Yeah.
See, where we live, it's like chicken trucks. We get chicken trucks everywhere. So that would happen with like the chickens. They'd come flying at us.
Slightly less terrifying, I feel. Slightly less terrifying. Who has inspired you most whilst you've been growing up?
I would say my dad. My mom too, but my dad for sure. He's always been a hard worker, and that he installed that in me at a young age to do whatever I do it 100%. So yeah, shout out to my dad for that.
Shout out to Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet. I'm sure you've probably prepped your answers for these ones, knowing that we ask all our guests. But if you, they better be good because you've had homework time. If you could recast any film using just the Muppets and one token human actor, what film would it be? And who would the human actor be?
Using the Muppets. I actually did not prep for that one. That's a good one. I know, crazy, right?
All right, girl. Yeah, you've seen our stuff. Okay.
Let's see. Ooh. Can I use a series shows like CSI?
Yeah. Ooh.
I would definitely use CSI on that.
That would be a good one. Which
that would be interesting. I think there's actually kind of one like that, a Muppets movie that they're like detectives and stuff. Happy Time Murderers or something like that. It's weird.
I don't know that one.
So imagine you're doing CSI Miami. Who's going to play the lead character? Which Muppets can play the lead character?
Beaker.
Sunglasses.
Beaker.
Yeah. Beaker.
Beaker. Yeah.
Guy, doesn't he?
He would be that perfect person.
He does look a little bit like him. Oh, I then don't think we need anything else. I think that's just a little bit perfect. I can just imagine with sunglasses.
Exactly. Yeah. The lab coat and everything.
Doing it right then. Last question then, Bert. You've done brilliantly. Realistically, how long do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, I'm the first to go.
Why? You're 6'5", like hardcore.
I'm the first to go. They say the black guy always dies first. Come on. I am the first to go. Huh?
Tyrese did it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
I would be the first to go because cardio is huge. I suck at cardio. Like I would see them coming and I would want to run that way, but my body wouldn't want to go that way.
I've just had my Chipotle and I'm just a little bit full.
Exactly. Just take me.
I'll die happy. So not very long then.
Not long. No. Not at all.
That's impressive. Just start lifting weights then, and then you can swing things at them. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
You'll be fine. Well, thank you so much for entertaining us and delving into my weird little brain. I will pass you to the very capable hands of Ashley.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm not as exciting, but someone has to ask these questions because then we wouldn't really have a podcast. So where are you from? I know that you reside in Washington now, but is that where you grew up?
So I grew up in California,
okay,
in the Bay Area of California.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what got you into acting?
So ever since, okay, it's weird because I want to say, I started when I was young and I got invited to this prestigious acting school. That's not my case at all. I grew up and I was always involved in church plays, school theater. I just always enjoyed that. But growing up, life happened. You find jobs and I put that on the back burner. And it didn't take until, like I said, last year for me to look at my life and be like, what am I teaching my son, here? Like, I mean, granted, the workers make the world go round. I get it. But pursue your passions, just do it, get into whatever it is that you want to do and do it full-heartedly, And so acting was one of those things that I always knew I loved and I had a passion for, and I don't care about rejection. Rejection to me is just a life lesson. You're learning from it. So then my earpiece keeps falling out. Sorry.
All right.
You just super.
So that was I need to, seriously, it keeps popping out. But yeah, so I decided this year to pursue, or last year to pursue acting.
Can you tell us about like, okay, so you said that you had a passion for it, and then when the pandemic hit, it was just like now or never kind of thing.
Yeah.
What was the process like? You're like, I've decided that I'm going to be an actor. What was your process like of actually doing it?
Reaching out, networking. I got on Facebook. I think that's probably where I seen AC, you know, the actors community at. I just reached out to people, asking questions, and I realized, okay, first thing I need to do is get headshots done, which was very expensive, by the way, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. So I got headshots done by Chris Ruley. Shout out to him, great dude. And then the long process of trying to find an agent, because I heard it wasn't going to be that easy. And it took about a month before I found somebody that wanted to represent me. So things kind of happened pretty quick. They moved pretty quick. So
did you take any acting classes at all, or you're just like, I'm just going to be a natural, I'm just going to be good?
You know, I believe acting classes work, and I'm not against them, and I want to take them, but like I said, things happen so fast that I haven't had really the opportunity yet to pursue the classes portion of it. You know, I still do want to do it because I want to learn improv. Like that's the thing I think I struggle a lot with, and I want to learn that better. So I will be taking more classes this year for sure.
And you said that you got on Facebook or Instagram and you start reaching out to people. Did you reach out to like friends, or did you just reach out to people that you knew were actors and they responded back to you?
So I think I typed in something like acting classes in Spokane, and then you kind of start doing your own research, and you can see people that are in the industry trying to build up their, you know, their name, and you start following them and see what they're getting into, and then you kind of just piggybacking at that point. But that was the easiest way for me, and I was able to piggyback off other people and find my own little road.
Yeah. And then so you said it took you about a month to get your agent. Can you tell us about that process and just about looking it up and then auditioning and how that went?
Yeah, so I like I said, I was kind of piggybacking and reaching out to people, and she actually messaged me asking if I've done any work and if I was interested in getting an agent. And I don't know why I was like, no, I want to do this myself. I just do it as a little hobby. It's fun, you know, and I kind of let it go. And then the more I did research, I was like, I do need an agent because there are projects I can't get without one. Plus they know people, you know, and I'm all about networking. So I reached out to her and I was like, look, I gave it a lot of thought. Here's my reel of stuff I've done already. And it kind of went off of that. And she messaged me back with her boss. This is Dawn Reinhardt, by the way, of Big Fish Northwest. Super amazing woman. So that's kind of how that went. There really wasn't a lot of auditions. I kind of sent in my reel to her. We've had a Zoom meeting with her and her boss. Sent her my headshots and kind of went like that.
And how did you get your reel together? Did you just get jobs off of like backstage, or did you just like doing your networking? How did you get that together?
So I had in 2015, remember I had always wanted to be an actor. So in 2015, when Unbelievers was being made, I reached out to the director who I actually knew at the time. And I was like, hey, do you have any spots? And he's like, absolutely, send me an audition. And that was the first time I did a self-audition, was in 2015, or self-tape. And I sent him that and I got the part. So that helped me create a beginning reel. And a lot of the other stuff was like, it's gonna sound weird, but TikTok videos, or back then when it was called Musical.ly, and things like that. Yeah.
So you just did that, and then you just kind of strung those together so kind of like self tapes or your own creations to make your reel.
Exactly.
And that's what
exactly.
you did. Do you want to talk about that process at all, and like how you get your inspirations to do your own creations and your reels?
I've always known that self-creating is important. A lot of times jobs aren't going to come as fast as we want them to as creatives. So it's all about creating your own, you know, projects, little things. I mean, anything to put some entertainment out there. I mean, hiring friends, talking to friends who also do the same thing, and just getting together and collabing on it has always been important. So I just always had the feeling that self-creating was probably going to be my easiest way in to the industry.
Yeah.
So I kind of went that route.
Awesome. And then, so once you got your agent, how did you find those auditions? Do you want to talk about your best audition and maybe your worst audition?
My worst ones are the ones that I did not get. The best one I would say was probably my most recent. I was sick, not with COVID, but I was sick, and I was also dealing with allergies, so I was all clogged up. I'm still dealing with it a little bit now. And she sent me this audition to do a self tape, and I'm like, hey, I'm definitely okay with doing this, but I am super sick, and you can hear it in my voice. I can't really speak that well. And she's like, hey, if anything, it's experience, it's learning. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I went in there, did an audition, and a week later I got the part. And she was like, hey, you got booked and you were sick. And that was another thing that showed me, hey, you're stronger than you really are. You know what I mean?
Awesome. That's great. And then I know we talked about your dad was your inspiration, but is there any actors or entertainers out there that you find inspiration in?
Oh, that's a good question. A lot of them. I always told myself, I know I'll make it if I ever get to perform with Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Like, that's my goal, is to perform with him one day. And I don't want to. I mean, there's so many actors and actresses out there that just watching their backstory, listening to their backstory, and seeing where they're coming from is huge. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these people didn't start until they were older, and I always had this idea, oh, you have to start when you're young. And I mean, look at Morgan Freeman. He didn't really get his first thing until he was like 45 or something like that, and that's crazy. So.
Yeah. And I feel like in this industry, you hear those stories about them, but you forget, like, they probably worked years, before they even got that big break. And
exactly,
this really great post about being an actor or an entertainer, and you see the post online, you hear the yes and stuff like that, but you don't see like the bottom of the iceberg, where it's all this rejection and hard work and giving up things. How do you mention you had a son? You're getting in this later in life. How do you feel like you juggle the struggles of trying to be a professional actor later in life?
I will say it's not easy. It's definitely not easy being a single parent. Everything, I mean, no matter what, he's going to be my first priority. I just, like I said, I want to make sure that he understands that to pursue your dreams, you're never too old to do it. And I think my biggest thing is just making sure what I do is going to set a seed for him, so he believes in himself at a young age. He's able to do what he wants to do at a young age. Yeah, with good grounding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has he seen any of your work?
What's that?
Has he seen any of your work?
He has. So that reel that I was telling you guys about, that I sent in. He watches that a lot. I don't think he's so young. He's 4. He doesn't understand. Yeah. But in that reel, I'm in a fight with another character, like a physical altercation, and this is with the Unbelievers movie. And he always says, "This guy is going to kill you, Dad," because in this scene I get beat up pretty bad. And so it's kind of funny. He waits for this moment, and then he starts laughing when it happens. So he knows that whole like 2-minute script.
So did you do any? You're in a fight scene in the reel that you've done. Did you have training for fighting or anything like that? Or was that something you had to learn on the job?
The training? No. It was. I pretty much got choked out, and I was fighting back. So it was really simple. There wasn't any choreograph, or I guess there was choreograph, but there wasn't any training for that. It was kind of like, let this guy choke you out, pretend to put on a fight, and we'll go for that. So,
because I think I mean don't take that for granted, the fact that you did that without having to have people coordinate, because not everyone could do that at all.
No.
Do straight in and do the physical side of fight scenes and stuff. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Don't take that lightly.
That was the first film that I ever done too. I had no clue. Like, I knew he was going to approach me. I didn't know. They added, because in the set, that's kind of how things get added on. And that was kind of added on. And it was exciting because I'm like, I don't know about a lot of people, but I forget the cameras are there as soon as it happens. I mean, it's natural for me to kind of forget that. At first, I'm nervous. I ain't gonna lie. When they're talking, I'm nervous to see all the cast and crew and cameras and lights. But then as soon as it's ready to say go, it's forget everything's there.
Yeah.
So Trudy wasn't in the script. They just threw that one in there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because if you watch it, see, here it goes again, it fell out. If you guys watch it, it's the guy is significantly small. He's about 6 foot. I'm 6'5". He's a lot smaller than me size. And it's funny because people are like, "How did he take you down?" I'm like, "It's in the script." It's in the script.
You're like, hey, if that was real life, that wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. That was my character. Fine.
You told me to do it, so that's why it happened.
Exactly.
They pay money, so.
Yeah. So obviously being in a feature film as your very first job, how did you go? Are you a SAG actor or are you still a non-union actor?
Yeah, I'm non-union right now.
Okay.
It is one of my goals to become SAG.
Yeah. Did you get a voucher for working on that feature film?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Tell them about that.
I should, right? Yeah.
Right. You should reach out and be like, hey, remember the time
I got choked.
Right.
So how was your process of going on? You said you were nervous, but about being on an actual set for a feature film. And then how do you do that? Like, what was your process of basically handling that? Or just because you didn't kind of know what you're walking into?
I definitely didn't know what I was walking into. I knew I wanted it. Like, I think the wants and this could be my living. Like, I could make a living out of this was more, it had more of a more push on me to just do it. Walking into it, it was a lot of over preparation. I feel like I over prepared, which is, I think, way better than under preparing. So I obviously knew all my lines, and I got there. I had no clue there's going to be that many people there, and then I was going to be working with people that have been in the industry for a long time, that was nerve wracking as it was, because then you're wondering, are they judging me on this? And they were super cool about everything. I mean, it showed me that this is definitely the road I want to take, for sure.
Did they know that you didn't really have any experience beforehand?
I think after I told them. After I told them, on breaks and whatnot. And like I said, we're still all really cool. I talk to them all the time on Instagram and Facebook, and they're all doing great. And I love watching their journeys.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, since we're just kind of talking about, you mentioned about your prep for working on films, I'm going to move you on to Heather so she can talk about how you prep for your set days.
Okay.
And before we get into that, I want to go back to when you said you were big into networking. So did you network any on the set? Because I know being on set, you kind of have to, there's like boundaries that you do not want to cross with other actors or the crew. But did you find yourself being able to network on set? And if you did, how did you navigate those waters?
Yeah, it was kind of easy. It wasn't, I do understand you have to be careful. There's certain lines that can't be crossed, but I think you're able to read the environment, and I wouldn't say right after somebody, you could see if somebody's preparing for a line, don't go up to them, hey, you want to start talking on Instagram? So you kind of connect. A lot of these things are on WhatsApp or whatever, and so you're connecting with these actors, and it kind of came natural to be able to just network with them, as long as you respect boundaries and whatnot.
Okay, so now we'll jump forward to preparing for roles. So you said you've not taken any classes for acting. So how do you approach learning your lines, getting into character, getting into the mindset of your character in a way where you've not taken any classes? Because there'll be some people watching this who maybe can't afford to take classes. So this could be really beneficial for them to kind of see how to do that without training.
Yeah, I would say you can't over prepare. You get brought into a script. Sorry about that. You get brought into a script. Learn your lines inside and out. Like, that was my thing. And then portraying these lines differently each time. These are things that I'm sure they have classes for, but I have never experienced the classes with them. So, like, if there was a line that says "Get out of my house," how is that line being said? How are you saying that line? So, just practicing it a million different ways, seeing what you think best fits, because you have to bring character to those lines. You can't just read the lines. So I would just say prepare, do a lot of Google. I mean, YouTube is amazing. YouTube is amazing for these type of things.
So going into that first audition, you had to have super nerves. Like, how did you cope with that?
You know what? Because I didn't realize it was going to be such a big production, the nerves weren't that big yet. So I was kind of like, he just said, hey, yeah, can you do this self-tape? And I'm like, sure, and he gave me the little short script and I did it. And I didn't realize, I kind of seen their behind the scenes Facebook pages and stuff, and I seen how big it was, but I didn't know until I got on set and then realized, oh, this is a little different than what I thought.
So when you got on set and had that realization, how did you stay zen?
Act like I know what I was doing. Fake it till you make it. I kind of just, I went up there and, like I said, I knew this is where I wanted to go with my life. So that kind of helped. And this is either going to be a make it or break it for me,
Do you have one role that you just was your favorite role you got to play?
Ernesto is turning out to be that way right now for me because it is an episodic series. I don't really know how much I can say about it right now, but I think this is going to be one of those fun roles for me.
So you've done a film and now you're working on this. That's a series. How is that experience different for you?
It's faster because it's like a mini series. So instead of an episode being 30 minutes, each episode is about 15 to 20 minutes. So everything's faster. Learning your character is faster. All new characters are being brought in, and so that's probably where we're at with that.
What can I ask a question? I'm gonna ask a question for you.
Sure.
Where can you watch Ernesto at? Is it live yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still shooting the first season on that.
Okay, and then will it be like on Netflix or Peacock or?
I'm hearing it's going to be on Prime Video.
Okay.
Prime. So, yeah.
Okay.
Will all the episodes drop at once, or are they going to release one?
That I don't know. See, this thing is not staying in.
Leave it out, then you'll be like cool, like the teenagers.
Let's put it like this for now.
Can I ask how your process was for getting that role?
That role was actually brought to me by my agent. So she said, hey, I know this director who's doing this episodic show. I put your headshot in front of him and he wants to do a table read and screen test with you. And I was like, okay, yeah, absolutely. So after they told me who it was, I kind of looked up his filmography. He's done a lot of good work. And then I showed up there with the characters and we did a screen test, table read. The chemistry between us was instant. It was fun. It was like I knew these people and I never met them in a day before in my life. So that was a really fun experience. I've never done a table read until that. So
what was that like? What was your first table read like?
It was different, but like I said, it was like I never met these characters, but it was like I've known them my whole life, like the people. We were able to get there, instantly connect with them, and we sat there, got mic'd up, and kind of read through our lines, and it was a lot of laughing. I would say the director was probably pissed at that because when we were doing mic tests, we were singing Baby Shark. But it was really fun.
Great. And then as someone like starting out, in acting or maybe not have experience, what can you explain like what your table read is? So that process of you'll go in and do this table read. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I'm sure it's a little different. I have not done a table read yet for a feature film. So I'm sure it's a little different when it comes to episodic series. But what you're able to, so what they'll do is they'll give you enough time to prepare your script. They'll give you the script. And when you show up on whatever day that actual table read is on, you usually have a lot of the producers there, a lot of the main crew, along with the cast, and you kind of just go through these scripts and read your part out. When it's talking about like the narrative part of the scripts, they usually have a separate person reading that. director isn't going to read that. He kind of wants to pay attention, it's a lot of note taking. If there's a punchline that doesn't hit, they'll make sure to put that in there and change it up. So yeah, it's definitely fun.
But you have to go in and you're just reading it as if you're reading the script, or is everyone full on acting it?
So what you want to do, this is what I've learned. What you want to do is you want to act it. You don't just want to read it. The directors, producers, they want to see how everything's hitting, how each line is hitting, how it's being delivered. So you want to go in as your character, not just reading it.
And how much prep do you tend to do for a character? Are you one of these people that feels like 4 journals with a backstory of your character, or do you just literally take what information they've given and write a few notes and just wing it?
That's kind of how this one was. We just kind of winged it, and luckily the way we all winged it was the way they wanted it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's normal, but that's how it worked. So
realistically, if you're a working actor who's getting a lot of these sort of auditions, realistically, that's the way that some of them got to go, because you might just have hours to prepare, or you might have a day to prepare, or you might have a job at the table read the very next day, sort of thing. So hey, if you can do it off the cuff, you can do it off the cuff. That's great.
Yeah.
So what kind of role what would be like your ideal role? Like everyone has like that one role that they're like, gosh, I would really love to do either like this type of genre or something more specific.
My ideal role would have been on The Last Kingdom, but sad face.
Well, that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
I know.
Which character would you have loved?
Yeah, what did you want to do on it?
I would have played a Dane. I would have easily wanted to. I would have wanted to play a Dane.
A Dane, yeah.
Honestly, I would have took any role.
Yeah.
But I've never. It's weird because when it comes to that, I have never, ever fell in love with a series so much that I invested so much into watching every single. Like I've watched every season of that at least 10 times. I got all the books here. Like they did amazing job on that.
So did you read the books first?
No. I actually watched this season and I told people about it. And the more I watched it and done research, the more I seen that, hey, there's books written, this is written off of books. And so I got the books, which are, obviously different, a little different here and there, but it was amazing.
So which do you think is better, the book or the series?
I'll let you know after season 5. Because I want to know what's going to happen. So
good answer.
Okay, I'll ask this. We've not read the books. Do you hope they end the series staying true to the book, or do you hope they change it?
I like what they've done up to this point when changing it. I like that. There's a lot of things you think are going to happen that don't happen, or you want to happen that aren't going to happen, So I hope they change it up. But there are some interesting, like I want to say stuff, but I can't because I don't know how much is too much. But no, I'm not spoiling anything.
So is there anything else you're working on right now besides Ernesto?
Yeah, so Ernesto's the most current project. I just got done filming a commercial, which was my first regional commercial ever. So super excited about that. It's for a theme park that's out here, like the largest theme park in the Pacific Northwest. That was a first, and that was super fun because afterwards we got to actually enjoy the park. Nice. So I was able to, it's kind of fun. I was able to take my son and he was able to watch me, do the commercial and prepare for that and then get to enjoy the park afterwards. So be able to have him there watching me do something I want to do with my life was amazing.
So doing that, sometimes with commercials, you have to sign non-competes or like there's like a certain time frame. Did you have to do that with this one?
There wasn't any non-competes or anything like that. What do you mean by time frames?
Well, because sometimes they'll like some commercials, like if it's for like I don't know, like a brand of like car, like if you do a Toyota commercial, they'll say 2 years before you could do a commercial for like another.
Oh, I see.
So it is kind of like non-compete where it's like you've got to give like a time frame.
No, it wasn't nothing on that for this.
Yeah, I was just curious because I know sometimes with commercials they'll do that, so I wasn't. Actually,
Oh, like if you worked for Toyota, they don't want you to do a Honda one or something like that. Yeah, no, it was nothing like that.
So what kind of advice do you have for, we always do this towards the very end, is someone who is just starting out, maybe they're older or not, just 3 words of advice. No, sorry, it was not 3 words of advice. It's 3 words to describe your journey. It's just any words for advice. So let me start over and do this again. Again, little rusty. I apologize. So
I was like trying to help you. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Ashley?
I was like trying to like stare at you, like trying to help you. So I was like, that's not it.
As I was talking, I'm like, that's totally not right. It's okay. Ashley can edit this out. We always like to ask our guests if you could give just words of wisdom or advice to maybe a younger version of yourself starting in this industry, or someone who is starting later in life, what it would be.
Don't be afraid to jump. Don't be afraid to jump. I will preach that until the day I die. Just because everything in life that, I mean, at least in my life, I want to say it was Will Smith that said something like, comfort isn't going to happen, or your success isn't going to happen on your comfort zone. You know, you have to get out of that comfort zone. And like I said, the reason why I started at 34 years old is because I was afraid to jump. I was afraid that I'm not attractive enough. I'm not in shape enough for these characters. And that could not be the furthest from the truth. You know, people want realistic, characters. That's what they want. And me jumping into this and being like, okay, you know what? I've always had a passion for it. This is what I'm going to pursue. I'm going to give it the hardest I can, has shown me, because of all the doors that had opened up, thank God for that. All these doors that open up. So don't be afraid to jump.
And going back to, you were worried about how I guess you would be perceived in this industry, because it can be very, not materialistic. What's the word I'm looking for? Superficial. It can be superficial. The roles that you've had up to this point, do you feel like you've gotten the same type of role, or have they been varied?
They've been varied, thankfully. So I'm a really big dude. Like I said, there's a lot of roles I like to play, but I don't really want to go that route because I don't want to be, what's the word, typecasted. I don't want to always be this tough guy. I have a heart. I want to play family guy. I want to play the comedic role. I don't want to just be a tough guy in everything. So I'll take it, but I don't always want that role.
And then the question where we ask 3 words, how would you describe your journey up to this point? And the 3 words can be completely separate, or they can be related. And if you need to do more than 3, it's fine.
Wow. Looking at my life, everything has been so crazy. Let's see. Man, wow. That's a good question. Jeez.
We like to make our guests think.
Yeah. We've had past guests that have like strong words together, like don't give up, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some
unexpected.
Some people just have 3 separate words. So like interesting, interrupted was one that was a really good one.
Non-linear.
Non-linear.
Yeah. So it can just be like anything like that. Like, I don't know if that's helpful.
It has been, my life has been indecisive. It has been, I definitely have to say interesting, because I love every minute of it, and a lot of change. So.
Yeah, those are great. There you go.
But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just saying I'm okay with every aspect of it. To me, it's like chapters of my life in my book. Chapter 1 is indecisive. Chapter 2, so I'm okay with it.
And that was kind of what I was going to ask, because this industry can be so unpredictable, and so I feel like people who start out younger that's almost kind of like all they've known is like the unpredictability of this industry. And when you enter it later, it's like some of us have already had careers that are very predictable and stable, and you know it's going to like come next week or next month or next year. And the industry is very different. Have you struggled with that at all, with the unknown, or do you just kind of, is that your personality where you're just like, I'm totally cool with that?
I'm just fine. I'm on the go with it. You know, I expect a lot. Like I said, I've done a lot of research. I know some people. Rejection. I'm not afraid of rejection. Like I said, I embrace change. I embrace rejection because I know what it is. You know, by even watching A-listers or B-lister actors, whatever, you see what they talk about when it comes to rejection. You know, the casting department isn't necessarily rejecting you. Don't take it personal. You know, that's not. They have a idea of what they want, and you're just not fit in that category. But that's fine. You know, there's always going to be something out there for you. So
get that stuff. And it's, I mean, I know Keira talked with you about, like, it's not about necessarily, we don't get people on because of like how many films they've done or how many followers they have or how, well known they are. It's really, we want to get from people from different backgrounds and from all over the world, and just how different the journey is. Because I've said before, I'm from a really small town, and I wanted to be an actor when I was little, and I kind of felt like I couldn't do it because I'm from this little town and no one's an actor from here. And I just hope that there's, a girl or boy, whatever, listening and being like, I can be from the middle of nowhere where you have hours to get to a city, and you can make it. And you can make 100%. It when you're 18, or you can make it when you're 40 or 50 or whatever. So that's really, it's just the journey and the process of how is. And that you don't have to go to school, and you don't have to take a bunch of classes. You just have to have a will to
do it. Please finish high school. That's not what actually saying.
Stay in school.
That's why I said 18. I said 18, right? So we always appreciate, like I've said a million times, I feel like people are probably tired of hearing it, but appreciate all the guests that are ever willing to come on and, talk about their journey. And we hope that it's, inspirational for our listeners.
Inspiration.
But I can't speak today. Or but also to, to the people that we have on, to like remind them, like, yes, I'm doing this for a reason, and show their passion. So hopefully for that today.
Definitely. And thank you guys for having me on, for sure.
Thanks for hopping on with us.
Of course.
One thing I would ask is, how do you measure your success? Because a lot of people have said that it doesn't matter if you're working, it just matters if you're auditioning, or if you're being creative, or if you're finding fun things for yourselves to do that's deep into that creative side of you. So do you measure your success as to how many jobs you get, or how many auditions you get called back for? Or is there something you always striving for the next thing? Or is there a contentment that you can reach in your everyday life with it? Because this is a hard game to feel contented in, I feel.
Sure.
If your mind's not right, should I say? If your mind's not right, I feel it's a hard game.
Yeah, I would definitely say I am happy with where I'm at and my journey. I did obviously start a little later in life, which is perfectly fine. But like Ashley said, it's all about the journey. My success is me pursuing what I want to do with my life. That's what I base success off. Of course, there's the, if I get to work with Denzel Washington, now I know I made it. But up until that, this whole thing, to me, I feel like I'm successful at what I'm doing right now.
That's brilliant and beautiful.
Thank you.
Andre, thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate your time and your knowledge that you shared with us today.
Of course, and thanks for having me.
Thank you
so much. We'll see you soon.